And we're doing it.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, Thomas.
How's life been?
Life's been good.
It's been almost a month.
Something like that.
Probably, yeah.
It's taking us a while to get back in the studio.
What have you been up to?
Oh, enjoying the December. Yeah, I went to see my family in Maryland 2 weeks ago. Yeah, not this past week, but the week before. Yeah, which was cool. It was great to see my parents. They got to see Anaya, see the grandbaby. I got to meet my nephew, my brother's kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never met him before.
How old is he?
He's like 2. Little 2-year-old guy. Yeah, he's cool. He likes to play. Loves to play around. But he also likes to cry a lot.
Is it just tantrums? He just wants something and the parents don't want to give him what he wants, or?
Well, the way my brother explained it was he's very spoiled. Like, he's a very spoiled child. You know, they love him. They shower him with gifts and, let him do kind of what he wants for the most part. So I think, once they want him to do something that he doesn't want to do, it's like a big deal for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Got to see some friends. Got to see Maryland. Hadn't been there in a couple years. So it was nice. It was really cool to go back home. I got to drive my pickup truck.
They still have it?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
and who uses it?
Every now and then someone will use it to,
Gotcha.
drag something somewhere, or haul something somewhere. Like, sometimes my brother will use it, or my parents will use it. So, yeah, it gets used every now and then. We went and did the emissions test, because you have to do that every 2 years in Maryland, and it passed, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an old truck from 1999.
They still pass the emissions test.
Yeah.
Are is the threshold pretty high in Maryland?
What do you mean, like?
Like, you got to be low enough, right?
Yeah.
But is the tolerance threshold kind of high, so even older vehicles that have a lot of emissions can still pass?
I guess so, because we passed, but there might be different standards for different cars depending on how old they are.
True.
So I think maybe an older truck doesn't necessarily need to be as clean as like a brand new car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Then went back to work for a week, and then now I'm off again for Christmas break.
What do you plan to do?
For Christmas break?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been hanging out with April's mom, my wife's mom and stepdad. They're in town, so that's been cool. And then my plan was to come here and hang out with you, and then I'll go and see a friend on Thursday.
Yeah, nice.
And but yeah, other than that, I'll just be working on the mergers and acquisition stuff, sending out letters, having meetings, that sort of stuff. So nothing super fantastic planned, but definitely happy to be off of work for a little while.
That's 1 week?
Yeah.
When are you back?
What is it, January 2nd or January 1st? I don't know. Whenever.
January 1st you will be working?
No, probably not.
I think January 1st is a Sunday as well. Oh, or the 31st is a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe the 1st. Probably not, because it's New Year's Day. I feel like people usually get that off work.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
they
don't know.
always do.
Yeah.
Except if you accept to work in a restaurant or something, and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we forgot the synthwave.
Oh, gotta put the music on?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was just thinking of the Liver King. You heard about that?
Oh, yeah, I did. Well, the main guy who debunked him is a guy from Vancouver.
Really?
Yeah, the guy who showed the emails that he was having with somebody else, and he was talking about getting his cycles and all his PEDs and so on, and that was leaked by a guy from Vancouver. Yeah.
So how did he get the emails?
Oh, so it turns out that the guy, the the Liver King was conversing with a coach, I guess, who was maybe also a coach for workouts, nutrition. I'm not sure exactly, but he happens to be a friend and colleague of the guy from Vancouver. That they have done podcasts. They've done podcasts together and so on. So I'm guessing that at some point maybe he sent emails and he said, "Well, I cannot rat out. It's my client or something, but I guess you can." Or it's not very clear. The timeline is not clear to me, but anyway, it was about time.
Yeah.
That was revealed because that was just such an obvious lie.
Yeah, the dude just looks ridiculous. He's so jacked and so shredded. And how old is he? Like 50 something?
No, he might be 45 or 40, but yeah, like close enough to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing is you can still be jacked and shredded when you're older. Just takes a lot of work. But
yeah,
that jacked and that shredded, it's like, no, clearly not.
Not only by eating liver and other organs.
And testicles.
Yeah.
Lots of liver and testicles.
Yeah. They have a lot of good things in them, that's true. But you can also live very well without them. And getting just like some of their nutrition through supplements or pills or other food, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I believe zinc in particular. There's a lot of zinc, I think, in liver. Or maybe in cow liver in particular, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, it might be hard to find zinc, maybe some seafoods, things like that, but otherwise just buy your pills. You just get 1 pill of zinc a day and you don't need to eat liver.
What if people like liver? Do you like liver?
It's one of the few foods I have a very hard time with, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of my limits.
Wow. An organ meat that Thomas doesn't like?
I don't mind organ meats in general. I like liver. It has to be cooked. Like liver, well.
Yeah.
But no, like when I say cooked, I mean like seasoned a bit, even. Not just like in the pan fried, and that's it. It would need to be maybe a couple of herbs or something. The flavor is very strong.
Yeah.
And I do like it, but when it is too strong, it's overwhelming, and that's when I don't like it anymore. That's why I need a bit of like herbs or sauce or something to diminish that very strong flavor. I like a bit of it. So I know that in my case, veal liver in particular is what I really, really don't like. Because my mom makes some on a very regular basis, and she's been making some since I was a kid. And I was trying every now and then, and still, even like recently, maybe 2 years ago or something, I think I tried. And I was like, now I can bear it more. You know, when I was a kid, I was just like, ugh. I can bear it, but it's still not pleasant. Yeah, the aftertaste is too strong. But I think maybe cow liver is not as strong as the baby cow liver. Yeah.
I don't know. I like chicken liver.
Yeah, chicken liver, duck liver, all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like this, we eat a lot of. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I don't think I've tried testicles.
No, me neither.
I might have tried brain.
Yeah?
Maybe sheep brain or something. I'm not sure.
I
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the closest to the brain I've ever got is tongue. I think I had cow tongue once, which is good. It was very, very soft and tender.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of cow tongue. I can have it. It's totally okay, but it seems to be an acquired taste. Some people really, really, really like it.
Yeah.
Takes a long time to cook, I believe, to be done the right way. Yeah. So he said. So Liver King, I think he's still on some PEDs, but I think he mentioned he wanted to go natural, and probably what he wants to do is say, well, you know, even natural, I'm still as jacked.
Yeah.
And that's due to my liver or whatever, to the meat, or I'm not sure.
What if he gets like super fat and just looks like shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be a good commercial for the performance enhancing drugs.
I think if he keeps working not as much as he does, I mean, he will not be able to work out as much if he goes off PEDs, but if he still have a consistent workouts, he'll probably still maintain a lot of this mass.
Yeah.
Probably have to eat a bit less if he exercises less, just to make sure the calories are not going overboard. But yeah, so this guy was saying he was rich and non-famous before, and now he's rich and famous. So what I don't understand is, what was he rich of before becoming the Liver King? And that's what I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe that's a lie as well.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, too lazy to look at it. Anyway, I think if we give him too much attention, if he's rich enough, he doesn't need my views, or he doesn't need me to type his name on Google.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was making like millions and millions and millions of dollars off of supplements and stuff, like selling random shit that people could put in their body.
But he wasn't famous before, like before becoming the Liver King. I think he was doing CrossFit, things like that. So yeah, he was already super in shape, just not as big.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was like a renowned name to buy supplements off of.
No, that probably came after he was Liver King and was
definitely
famous for being jacked and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, there was that. There was a couple things happened in the past month or two.
Yeah.
Cheers, by the way.
Cheers, brother. What do you mean?
They actually had Mr. Olympia last week. The jacked dudes.
Oh, like the bodybuilding?
Yeah, the bodybuilding.
Okay.
The biggest.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding competition.
Wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger? Didn't he win that at some point?
Yeah, he must have.
Yeah.
Probably a couple times in a row. Seems like a lot of these guys win. When they start winning, they win a lot in a row.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie Coleman got 8 or 7. A bunch of other guys got like 5 or 6 in a row. As soon as they got the first one, boom! For 5 years, it was them. And as soon as somebody got first and they were not first anymore, then I don't think they got a title again.
So you just have to be in your peak, in your prime, and then get in when other people aren't going to be as peaked as you. And
I guess there's this
a lot of timing.
Yeah. There's this guy who's Canadian who's won for the 4th time. Not in the category of the biggest, like Ronnie Coleman, for instance. But I forgot the name. Classic Physique, I think it's called. It's still 230 pounds or something. You just cannot go to 300.
230 pounds these guys are?
Oh, no. Well, that's not the biggest. The biggest
Really?
the biggest are like 300 pounds.
Really?
Oh, Ronnie Coleman? These
yeah?
guys?
Oh, yeah, I guess he's pretty
gigantic.
fucking enormous.
That category in particular, Classic Physique, I believe it's the weight you're allowed to reach depends on your height. So you cannot compete if you're taller than, let's say, 6'4", I forgot, for that category. And I think the weight you're allowed to make depends on how tall you are. So the taller you are, the higher your limit is for weight. So if you're super tall and you can still fit in that category, then you can also put more size on, and so probably that gives you a natural advantage over the shorter guys.
Yeah, if you just look like bigger and more ridiculous, then that'll help you out.
Yeah, you can have a wider back or wider shoulders and everything. Yeah, that was that.
That's such a crazy, it's so weird. Like, these guys clearly have some sort of like body dysmorphia or something, like something that motivates them to get so extremely like big and then shredded, and they're like, it seems wild to me that people do that and that people like watch it and they enjoy it. I feel like it's just, I'm just not into it at all personally, but you know, why not be into it, I guess.
I think at this stage we are closer to people liking art than we are to people just liking working out. like what I'm trying to say is, you know how, you know, they get big, but they need symmetry, definition, size in different places. They need like a tiny waist with big pecs. You know, I don't know the rest of the requirements, but you know, same for the quads, like for the legs and so on. And when these guys are judging, they're like, well, symmetry, size on that pose. On that pose, you know, there is a bicep that was showing, or the striation, because they're super lean, super dried up, and so on. So the way I look at it is, they're trying to look at a statue of art in some sense. These guys are trying to reach very, very toned, very hard muscles, but at the same time they deprive themselves of so much water to look that lean. So I think at this stage it looks like human sculpture, right? Well, bodybuilding, like building. It's in the name, right? Whereas if you do any other sports, I don't know, you could be a high-level athlete in any other sports that would get you jacked, but getting jacked is not the point of the sport. Is the byproduct of you training like crazy to become good at the sport, like martial arts. Like, you know, if you think about Francis Ngannou, you know, he doesn't really care about what he eats as long as he makes weight for his MMA fight. And you know, of course, he has a dietitian to have the right nutrients, but he doesn't really care about how he looks. He just happens to look like this guy naturally. Like,
he's just a beast.
Naturally, as in doesn't work out on specific body parts.
Yeah.
He might do the broad stuff like the squats, the deadlifts, yeah, like anybody does at this level. But he doesn't work on a particular upper level of the tricep or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's looking like that. So that's what I mean in the sense that, to me, these guys seem to be more fan of art, because what they're trying to reach is the perfect picture. Not a single muscle is missing, not a single, you know, like with the perfect light, with the skin color, with whatever, like they have the tanning and everything. So they are not doing PR too much at the gym, because if they do PRs, they take the risk of injuring themselves, which means they cannot work on the muscle for like 3 weeks or 6 weeks. And as opposed to power lifters or Olympic lifters or strongmen, for them, they just want to hit the stats.
Yeah.
Looking good is a byproduct of them trying to reach new heights.
Yeah.
See what I mean? In that sense, to me, bodybuilders are closer to art than they are to pure athletic performance.
Interesting. Yeah, they're using their body as art, which, yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's similar to like dancing or something like that. You're moving your body in a certain way. And they're not being judged based on how much they lift. They're being based on how good they look. And good, of course, is like any other piece of art. There are some criteria, and of course there's a bit of subjectivity in there, but it's being made as objective as possible. Whereas powerlifters are like, well, for them it's perfectly objective, is who can lift the highest amount of reps or higher amount of weight. I don't know exactly what they do, but yeah, they just lift stuff, push things, pull things.
That must be, I don't even know, like, powerlifter looks cool. Those guys are badass. But at the same time, I'm thinking, you know, when they go to the gym, I believe powerlifting has 3 main categories, like deadlifts, squats, and bench press, maybe? So
yeah, something like that.
So what I'm thinking is, when these guys go to the gym, and they probably don't work on other body parts. They're like, well, I need to have the best squat in the next competition, so I'm gonna do squats. And I'm gonna just allow enough time for my body to rest, and do squats again in 3 days, 4 days. I don't know how long it takes to recover.
I mean, they probably do some other like supporting exercises just to build their muscles up in particular, as opposed to just doing deadlifts or squats.
Yeah, because I would find it rather dull.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's also because I don't like lifting weights in the first place, so repeating the same motion for so long, because that's the only focus, would be...
Yeah. Be probably pretty boring. But if all you're caring about is just like increasing that number in that one exercise, that could be exciting for someone, I'm sure.
I think those guys the powerlifters are probably obsessed with stats, like numbers, and the bodybuilders are obsessed with looks.
Yeah.
And I also believe, I agree with you in terms of body dysmorphia. Yeah.
Just to like do that to yourself, because they look strong. They look muscular, but they also at the same time just look so strange. Like, I couldn't imagine having that idea that you want to get to this, like, quote unquote perfect physique, and it's not even your own personal definition of perfect. It's like the definition of the judges in the sport that you're participating in.
But you must agree to this criteria in the first place to participate and go through so much suffering.
Mm-hmm.
You must agree that, you know, when they say that much muscle, that much definition, and so on, it's like, well, yeah, I would look very good if I was satisfying all the judges' criteria.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. But I don't know. I wonder what percentage of the population is like attracted to the bodybuilder type. Because it's definitely good to be in shape.
Yeah.
But to that point, like, I feel like I've heard a lot of women be like, that just looks disgusting. This looks like terrible to me.
There are many videos online where they ask like random women in the streets and they say, what kind of what's your ideal physique for a man?
Mm-hmm.
And most women, I think there's a vast majority that tends toward the lean aspect as opposed to the big and bulky aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it becomes a moment where if you just want to be lean, like you want to have a visible six-pack,
Mm-hmm.
you can maybe do a bit of abs, but it's mostly diet because everybody has abs. They could be hidden with a layer of fat or something,
Mm-hmm.
which you cut down by doing cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want them to get bigger, then I guess you can work on your abs.
Yeah, you gotta do sit-ups and weighted sit-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there's definitely the point where you are working out to please other dudes.
Yeah.
And maybe, probably other women from the gym who go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the audience you want to appeal to, probably you have to work out pretty hard, and you're gonna need to. They're gonna be saying that, yeah, this guy looks good, and even if he's big.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a very small percentage of the population of the women
That's into that. Yeah.
that's into the big look,
Yeah.
and maybe themselves are also trying to get big, like big in a different way, but very round, curvy, but also muscular, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't appeal to many men either. Many men are like,
What?
no, a woman with a six-pack starts to be a bit too much.
Yeah, personally, it's just, women who are so super, like, muscular and lean, and it's just, I feel like I look at it the same way as I look at those big, gigantic bodybuilder guys. It's just like, oh, it's too much. It's too extreme. It's too, like, rugged. You look like an anime character or something.
And maybe in and of itself, I could find that attractive, but then I would be thinking, okay, but if I'm going on a date with that person, you cannot go anywhere because those people are very, very strict on the diet. You know?
Okay.
they want. I mean, it's great to be healthy. Don't get me wrong, but I
Mhm.
don't mind getting high every now and then. And sometimes you get the munchies, and you're like, okay, I can have one drinky thing or two. Like, it's fine. I'm not having like 3 McDonald's at once.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm having a burger or something like that. But maybe those people will be like, yep, nope,
Yeah,
because of
can't
body
do it.
dysmorphia.
Can't do it.
They would get too guilty over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
But I admire them. I admire them because they do things that I would not be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you ask me, you tell me, oh yeah, take 6 months, work out as much as you can, diet down, and just for the challenge, or hopefully there would be some kind of a reward, I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will never do this on a regular basis, or
Mm-hmm.
So that's why also I'm very admirative of them.
I don't think that that's a word.
Shoot,
But I know what you're trying to say, and I
My
don't
bad.
know what the word.
my French is coming back. I admire them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I admire people who do things that I cannot do in general. So, and they
Mhm.
are definitely in that category.
Yeah. No, it's impressive. It's definitely impressive. It's just, I'm not into it. I'm definitely not attracted to, like, super ripped women. Like, girls that work out, that's great. But I feel like their curves, it's better when they're softer curves. Does that make any sense? Like, it still looks natural, like the natural, female body.
Mm.
Like, muscles are good. Having muscles are good. But too much is just, I don't know. I don't understand it. And I don't know. It just, to me, it doesn't seem to go as well with the female body as it does with the male body. I feel like the male body is way more utilitarian. It's just like built for moving shit. Like, whereas the female body is, it's much more beautiful. Like, it's much more artful.
I agree.
Like,
I mean, we're both heterosexual. Makes sense as we agree. I definitely find muscles to be more of a masculine thing. So I'm not saying manly at all. I'm just masculine. So yeah, if I see women with a lot of muscles, I'm like, yeah, well, that's taking the appeal I have for women out. Like, yeah, well. But a toned body always looks great. But yeah, there's tone to a certain point.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to be toned.
But I even for guys, as much as I like to see jacked dudes, I don't find it super good looking either. Like, it's like looking at a statue at this stage. Like a very well sculpted statue, because they're so picky about the details of every insertion and every muscle that it's pretty impressive to see like all of the muscles that come out in a specific way and so on. But I don't aspire to that physique at all. I prefer harmony in the body. So I prefer people who get in shape through other activities than just straight weightlifting. Because you know, if you do any other sport or physical activity, your body will naturally shape itself toward according to the efforts that you make in that sport. But as long as you do a lot of it, your body will be toned one way or another.
Yeah.
Sumo could be an exception. Okay.
Yeah, they're strong, but they're definitely not toned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like linemen in football, like American football, they're strong, but they all have like big guts.
Yep.
Which is funny to me, because when you think of like an athlete, you think no fat.
A lot of rugby guys are like that too.
Yeah.
But they also don't give a fuck about their diet. Because no, you don't have weight requirements. Yeah. You have to be explosive, and size helps for those specific positions. And outside of that, it's like, well, yeah, like I'm muscular. It could be hidden behind some fat, but if they take you down, they will take you down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was thinking, female swimmers, for instance. Some of them look great. I mean, they all have a very toned body, but the sport makes them, like, some of them have traps.
That's not attractive.
Women with traps? I mean, I don't have traps. You know? It's not that I... Okay. That's for YouTube. I'm not trying to be like the kind of guy who says, oh, my girlfriend has to be less muscular than me. That's not what I mean. But no, traps not very sexy.
No,
I find personally, and since they use a lot of shoulder, well, they have wide shoulders too. Very good swimmers probably have naturally like some type of shoulder structure that helps that makes them swim like crazy. So the ones that you see at the top are the ones who have this body naturally, and on top of that they train like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to aspire to like getting big and bulky, but my body doesn't do that easily anyway. Like,
body types?
It's funny because my younger brother, Davey, he can gain muscle, like a lot of muscle. Like, he can lift way more than I'll ever be able to. But he's not as lean as I am. So, there's always benefits and downsides. Yeah, benefits and downsides to everything. So yeah, I used to feel like, oh, it'd be so cool to just be like this massive person, but I don't know if it's really better or worse. I mean, it's just different, I guess.
I would love to as well. There's certain parts of my body I would love to be bigger. But I'm also thinking not sustainable, because I don't enjoy the workouts that would get me there. So yes, again, I could take 3 to 6 months or something and going on, I don't know, some kind of a bulk or work on a specific body part, go to the gym every other day or whenever, have a very structured program. But probably eventually once I get there, I was like, okay, well, am I supposed to keep working out now? Because I did not enjoy that at all. So, is there any way to keep that size without having to go to the gym anymore and do other things?
Just do what the Liver King does, man.
Yeah, get my liver in.
Get your liver and your human growth hormone.
Yeah, oh yeah, GH. That's been
Mhm.
used. I think that's some athletes use that to recover from injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Conor McGregor recently?
No, we haven't hung out.
Oh no,
No.
he's been busy working out. So he's gotten very, very big.
Yeah, I have seen something. I did
What
see
is
something
busy?
like that.
You know, like a picture you could see or something. So, yeah, that's.
Oh.
You see what I mean? Like, okay, I think it's good for everybody to see. And yeah, like he has veins all over here, and yeah, he's huge.
Mm.
Like I cannot imagine that person being 155 pounds again
Yeah.
for his fights.
Look at his fucking legs. Oh my god.
Yeah, he has huge legs.
They're ridiculous.
He has a shorter neck as well, I think. Could be for the traps, literally, but from compared to before,
Yeah.
we could compare. But
Yeah.
and the thing is, he's been posting his workouts, like pictures,
Mm-hmm.
openly, and everybody knows like clearly that's just it's preposterous. But he withdrew from the pool of
He withdrew.
he withdrew
Mhm.
right from the pool of athletes getting tested for drugs for the UFC.
Okay.
You can. Then probably he went on growth hormone or one or other things like that because he had this injury on the shin,
Mm-hmm.
destroyed his shin fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently that's good for recovery. And so the trick is apparently once you withdraw from the pool, they won't test you randomly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then let's say you want to fight a year from now or something, you have to be in the pool for something like 6 months prior to the fight.
Mm.
So you can always turn off the cycle. Like, you know, oh, I'm not injured anymore. I put some size on. Now I'm going to work on my cardio, whatever, like martial arts again.
Mm-hmm.
And then stick 6 months in the pool. They test you randomly every now and then, but you're clean, and then you get to your fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's being so open about, oh, I don't give a shit. He's so big.
So you think he's on some sort of PEDs?
I don't have a lot of knowledge in those things, but I've watched a bunch of guys who do say so.
Yeah.
And
Definitely looks like he's on the sauce.
yeah, yeah. You can just check Google Images. They will give you a comparison of him at 3 different points in time on 3 different years. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, that's the guy from Vancouver who kind of debunked the Liver King.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he's big. He's big, but
That's
yeah,
interesting.
I would love to look bigger on some parts, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, if I cannot sustain this lifestyle, what's the point
Mm-hmm.
of looking like this for a year? That's great, and then a year later, boom, it becomes fat again, or you have to eat less because you don't work out as much, or and
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's better for my mental health that I stopped wanting to get like super jacked, because there was a lot of like frustration that went along with that, like because I would start lifting and then feel good and make some gains, get a little bit bigger, and then I would just always hit a wall. I would always hit a plateau, and then
that's what you have to get on the sauce.
yeah. Just get on the sauce and then not work out. I actually knew a guy who did that. So yeah, he was just taking steroids, but he wasn't working out.
He was doing nothing, not even like push-ups at home, or
Nah, nothing.
Oh.
Just Call of Duty.
how did that go?
I mean, he didn't change his body type at all, but I think he just got the steroids were like fucking with his mood. He was just acting like angry, and yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to just do steroids in general, and then especially if you're not working out.
There are some Reddit posts of guys who went on cycles in their 20s or something, and that bombed their relationships, and they almost got violent and things like that. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it depends on which steroid. yeah, again, that's only stuff I heard and read.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing of that world. I know no one who's on it.
Yeah.
Maybe one person or two, but yeah, maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems good when we get older, though, to get on replacement therapy and
Mm-hmm.
to some extent, just to replace the levels that we used to have in our 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people seem to swear by it.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. There's a lot of stuff that you can do now to like help your recovery and help your body. It's just a lot of it's expensive and a lot of it doesn't have like real research behind it, but it's like anecdotally you can find evidence where things will work. I don't have any specific examples, so I'm just talking out of my ass here.
Don't we all? Yeah, there probably are voodoo techniques, same as you have voodoo diets.
Mm-hmm.
But the hormone stuff, I think, is pretty scientific. Like, they do a bunch of experiments with people, and they check their hormones, and
Yeah.
I think it's worth doing it. Not getting the steroids, getting tested for hormones and see, because apparently your hormones profile can change according to your diet, according to your sleep schedule. Like people who work at night, like night shifts, nurses, people in factories and so on. Apparently, they're guys that testosterone is fucked.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't get the proper sleep, or the body is, well, they probably get bad quality sleep because they don't sleep with a regular schedule. You know, they finish at 8 a.m. or something, then they go to sleep, but it's bright outside. Like, and because of that, the body doesn't create as many growth hormones, because the body creates that during the sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's part of recovery. So you don't get into the right sleep cycle because your mind, your whole body is not used to a sleeping schedule. So you don't produce those good recovery things, and then there's also some foods that can increase your testosterone, or at least the creation of testosterone by the body, I guess.
Liver and testicles, man.
Oh, it's all about liver and testicles. Eat them, swallow whatever they produce. Yeah, so I think there are a lot of things that you can dial down before even getting into supplementation. But I think it's worth going to get like a blood test with all of the stuff, and it will tell you, what kind of life do you live? Oh, I live like this. I wake up at that time. That's what I do for work, whatever. And they will tell you, okay, so maybe you can change this here, this there. Maybe eat more of this, do more of that, and even if after this your testosterone is too low, I think then they might propose you this therapy. Yeah.
Well,
but that's gonna be a couple years from now.
Where are we at? 38 minutes?
It is.
Want to take a break?
Well, you don't like talking about bodybuilding anymore? You don't like to see the big guns?
We can always come back to it.
Indeed.
All right. What do we say? See you in the next one?
Probably.
See you when we come back.